Hey, good afternoon. Hope everybody's doing well. This is a little impromptu. It was a little, just in terms of the time, a little unexpected. But I used to use an expression that I don't really want to use now. So I'll just simply say that um, finished up what I needed to for my job and everything early. Got back to the house. Um, Feeling a little bit better today. So uh, before I really say anything else, big shout to those of you that actually reached out to me, socials, DMs, and whatnot. So I appreciate that. Um, but yeah, so I got back and I've been looking, not really vigilant, but I looked and I did some marking up last night, and I did something I said I wasn't going to do today, which, like last night we would have been doing like the Globex for today, right? And I looked, but I didn't spend a whole lot of time looking last night. And like I said, I just marked some stuff up, um, and did basically like PM from yesterday. This was a small position that I basically marked out, did not take. However, yeah, I kind of did a thing today. So the thing I did today was I came in, and if you notice, the reason this looks a little disjointed and not what you're accustomed to seeing when you're looking at my charts, what you are accustomed to seeing all of this, like all of this. But I have my chart right now set to regular trade hours. I've been kind of going back and forth, bobbing and weaving a little bit with this in relationship to electronic trade hours, which obviously shows you everything. The reason that I did this today was I was trying to recall, and I figured the easiest way, rather than scrolling back through price and trying to determine price levels, was just toggle the regular trade hours. What I was trying to figure out and remember is when yesterday opened, did it open within or did it retrace to the previous day's range? And lo and behold, it had not, right? So we still had this to go, and then I just kind of followed that across and said, okay, well, where are we today opening? Well, we're opening here. So it offered the ability of obviously going one of two ways. Like we could have gone straight down after. I will go ahead and I will admit now that day before yesterday, Globex, um, I went and just kind of was looking at price and realized that I'd screwed up like majorly, because on on that particular day, we had like a perfect picture perfect soup that I was explaining to someone in the chat, and it had actually occurred. And your boy went in the other direction. But needless to say, I was just looking to see, hey, where price open? Where was it? Did we attempt or did we come back to previous day's PM session? We did not. We moved away from it. So today being the initial jobless claims and looking at that data, I was like, okay, well, we should be doing, I wasn't here. So I was like, okay, so probably see that run short. Um, Huge negative on that. Um, and I'll just toggle back to electronic trade hours just for a second so we could look at that real quick. Um, so that news came out at 8:30, and that's what we got. I don't even have my arrows on here. I used to have them up at the top. I didn't set. That's what we got. We got a big old fat doji. It's like ranging. So this would have been like all of this would have been understandable up to this point, and then nothing. So eventually, all the more reason why I was glad I wasn't here this morning. And all the more reason now, based on what's happening right now, I got out of that position. Holy smokes and gee whiz. All right. But I'm pulling this over just to see if we're gonna have like a catcher's mitt here. But I'm telling you guys now ahead of time, like I'm done. I'm done. I'm done, son. I'm done. We might not even have a Globex. I take that back. Maybe I'll jump back on and do another live this evening. But since I traded today when I should have been in my practice account, maybe we'll fire up the practice account tonight for Globex. I don't know. But at any rate, let's go back here real quick. Regular trade hour. So once, the foolery of the pre-market was over, I got back here at the house at about 10:15, something like that. And I was looking immediately at, okay, well, where are my ranges? Like, obviously I'm not looking at the 6 a.m. so much, but now because I'm still sitting in regular trade hours, I'm like, okay, well, I'm looking at the initial balance. So there's my 930. Ooh, my 930. I ain't even know. Can you have a 9 thought? I guess you can. I don't know. Nobody comment or message me on that. I'm not interested. But so so this is 930 open, up to 950 basically made the high, and we moved away. Now what I was looking at this as being is either a low or a form of a rejection block, right? And bear with me, okay? Bear with me. But rejection maybe into an order block, and then I saw this fair value, and I went back to just a supposition, which was we opened and we tapped back into the AM from yesterday. So my thought process very simply was, okay, 930 open, we tapped back into the AM. We did retrace, but we didn't take out the 930 because my mind would have said, hey, if we cleared here, then the potential might have been to reach back into the previous day or 2 days ago, right? Because we already reached back into the previous day. So it wouldn't be impossible or implausible, especially looking at what the jobless claim numbers came out to be, which should be negative. It wouldn't have been far-fetched to say we reached back up into yesterday, we made a high, and then closed through the open and closed back into 2 days ago. We didn't necessarily see that. So I figured, hey, I came in late. I came in like, 10:10, quarter after 10. We're not down there. So your boy took a long from in here, and I only took it up to what looks like to be setting up as like a breaker, if you will. Yeah. I would look at yeah. So yeah, I my idea, and I'll just use the long short tool. I think I got long somewhere in here. My positioning wasn't the greatest because I took a market order. I was above fair value. So I might have been somewhere in here, but I'll put this on just to kind of give you like the thought and the idea right now. If price is to continue long, I was literally only looking, I think that's 4. Yeah. So I was only looking for my personal, I was only looking for a long back here. Once I actually looked at this area fair value from yesterday, when I saw price kind of pop into this and the way that it reacted, I got out either on this candle or this next candle. So you don't have to believe me. I don't mind pulling up my metrics at all. And you'll see that I only took one trade today. So that's 382.20. It's the only one I've taken today. My entry was 21,928.50, and I got out at 21,947.75. So no cappers here. No cappers. 928.50. Let's go back. So that's where I got in. I just wanted to put that so now you could see where I got in. But like I said, I didn't get out up here. I ended up getting out. What was the other one? What was the other number? I forgot just that quick. Let's go back and look. $21,947.75. There we go. So that was pretty much the length. So realistically on the close of that candle. And you could say, well, why would you if your target is up here? Well, a couple of reasons. One, the only thing that I didn't tell you from that entry and the TP was the time of day, but by virtue of the fact that I told you I didn't take that position until going on or a little bit before the lunch hour, that trade got put on at like 11:25 or something. I ended up getting out of the trade shortly before 11:50. So the whole point was to see if we were going to meet the objective. My hesitancy to hold is exactly what's happening right here, which you could say, well, aren't you going to just jump back in? No, I'm done. Even though we could still see an expansion today, the reason I got out is because of the lunch hour. And I know we're going to have some interterm liquidity forming, and then maybe, just maybe, price decides that it really does want to run short and go back and attack 2 days ago. So just don't know. My profile per se would be, as I said, longs at least to the 4 p.m. candle from yesterday. Anything beyond that, I don't know. Possible, yes. I'm gonna lock this real quick, and then I'll tell you why I'm just kind of like, From a weekly profile, I'm looking at this gap or this volume imbalance. I would be looking for Thursday, maybe even Friday to come down and close. But just don't know. This week, for obvious reasons, this week has been a little wonky. And yeah, I don't know if going into next week will kind of smooth or flatten some things out a little bit. I would hope so. So yeah, we'll just see what happens then. But I'm gonna kind of just keep plugging along. So I'm gonna jump out of this. Now, here's the crazy thing. I'm still in a position in my practice account. So I took the same position that I took in my combine. I did take it in my practice account. However, I was a little bit more, as us Northerners would say at a previous time in life, I was a little more gully at the idea early, just at a glance. And then I wasn't going to take the glance and say, oh, let me jump in my combine and just duplicate. No, I said, hey, it's a practice. that looks like, and this wick, I'm not gonna lie, like it's hard to sell me on something, but this kind of sold me, which caused me to just say, hey, let me get in where I could get in. And I got in. And I thought I moved this, but I didn't. Okay, so let's do that now. After I unlock my chart, right? We'll see if we get this delivery today or not. So it's good to be back on with you guys. Like I said, the last couple of days kind of just been shitty, if I'm honest. Just wasn't feeling good at all. But as I said, started to feel a little bit better like late last night. And then obviously this morning and today, so feeling quite a bit better. I can move that back out of the way. And honestly, I can take this off because this is delivered. Yeah, we had that clear, and then we had our open and regular trade hour, clear it. Oh, let me, and I'm not, well, most people already know that, but just for the one person that may not be watching this live, but maybe you watch the video, whenever you're utilizing or you're doing anything with candle range, I would almost say any type of price action that is not specific to the type of trading hours, meaning if you're looking for some type of a mitigation during regular trade hours, during New York, right? Whatever that liquidation or mitigation is, it needs to be in the same time frame. So what I mean very simply is, so you've got a 6 a.m. I marked out my candle range high, 6 a.m. from yesterday, right? And this low. Well, this is a 9:30, but if I go to electronic trade hours, you're going to see something. You'll actually see that this was cleared at basically 3:40 a.m., right? So one of the back and forths, and like I said, most people know this, some don't. Some people don't take advantage of it, others do. But if you're ever in a situation where obviously like you're not going to see 6 a.m. all the way up to New York open at 9:30. But the reason why I like looking at this candle range and using the 6 a.m. candle as I do is because a lot of times if you miss the mitigation, sometimes like in this case, like today, it might have given somebody that was available sitting at the chart prior to open, it might have given you a little bit of an idea of where price could have opened or where it could have started, because we were already back inside before we closed yesterday in terms of a potential candle range that was going to run to the 6 a.m. low. But ultimately, if you didn't have your electronic trade hours toggled and you just had regular trade hours, you could have presumed that it was possible that this level would have been run out at some point. I'm not saying like it did right at the 9:30 open, so I'm not suggesting like you could have anticipated this, but maybe even if the 9:30 candle opened and you had a long and then it came back, and it did here, it eventually worked its way back down just to make sure like we're done with this for now, right? you could always toggle back and forth. Is my point between the regular and electronic trade hours. But the ultimate point is if you see mitigation in the electronic trade hour that is related to regular trade hour, always make sure once we get back into regular trade hours that whatever that threshold is taken. Or if it's not, you know that might still be maybe a draw or a target. I know that was wordy and kind of long and drawn out, but I guess that really means I miss you guys if I'm running my mouth like that. Like we're men. We men don't miss men. Nah, I just miss being live. But apparently my camera still wants to remain on vacation, so we'll go for a little bit today. I don't know how long we'll go. It's just 12:21, so maybe I don't know. Maybe either until we get stopped out, we hit take profit, but I don't want to just, drag or draw you guys out. Like if we just remain in this abysmal range, goes back to watching ant colonies form. It can get boring. Be like, if I watch another ant move one more particle of dirt, I'm gonna scream. It's like it can be painful. Hey T Camp. Yeah, my camera apparently agreed with you and a couple other people like, damn, that dude's head's in the way. Camera's like, we're not doing that. I'm doing all right, man. How you doing? How's your day been? I'm wondering if 90. Because it kind of looks like so. You guys forgive me just for 1 second, cause I could just be. I'm not paranoid. I won't say that, but I could be wrong. Hang on. So this might be um excuse me. Up on gold. Nice. Nice. I'm thinking, and I won't. Well, I can't say. I think what I want to do. is and I don't think I'll jack myself up by doing that, but um I think after we get this combine done, I think I want to actually go into, and I'll have to figure out like what size, but I'm gonna do another combine. But the difference is gonna be that next combine is only gonna be copper futures. I'm not gonna trade anything else but copper futures on it. And I know in light of everything else and the world and whatever else, like some people are seeking like, solid foundational ground and comfort and all of that. And I don't know. I kind of just want to challenge myself in that regard. But yeah, you made me think about that, T Camp, when you said you're in gold. I don't remember if I asked you, do you trade every day? Or what days and times? Because I'm not gonna lie, like the position I took like in my combine today, like there's no way in the hell that I if not for what I was looking at and what was forming, I shouldn't have taken it, but I felt comfortable enough. But typically I don't. See, this is gonna lend to a short. I'm looking at this almost like it's a breaker every day. Okay. London and New York. Okay. Yeah, I think this is gonna stop me. And because it's a practice, I'm okay with just being at break even. Just want to cover commission if in the event that it does come back, because I think it is. Um, and like I said, I could be hella wrong. I really can. But yeah, or I could just take this measly 230 and head for the hills. Crypto, you're in there. Yeah, that's oh man. I almost I can't who I don't recall who asked me. I think it was a somebody that was watching. I think his name was Liquidity Trades or something. And he asked me what I thought about, you know, the meme coin situation from the gentleman that took office on Monday. And yeah, I mean, I know what my thoughts are on that, but it's still kind of hard to articulate. Like usually you ask me something, I don't really have a hard time. It doesn't matter what it is. I don't really have a hard time, you know, finding ways to express. But yeah, yeah. it's, but I think it's about to be this might be a Rocky one or the original Rocky order block. I think that's what that's what I'm thinking right now. Like this isn't the Adrian we did it order block. It could be, but I think this is the one you go down swinging and if so, we come back with hot greasy speed. Oh man. Man, y'all have to forgive me. I don't know. Like sometimes I don't know where that shit comes from. Like I said, I think it might just be the almanac of movies and having to go through that archive in my brain that just kind of pulls random shit out. So I don't know. It'd be cool to get invited for a TED talk and just like everything that's said. I don't think it's a dump and pump is gonna fund the U.S. projects. What do you mean? Are you talking about the Yeah, I figured that was gonna, but all good. Um, are you talking about the spending bill for, or not spending bill? Excuse me, the money that they were talking about for infrastructure for crypto, and they're trying to get basically the treasury to back it, to back the coin, certain, not, and it's not all, but yeah. Um so I don't I'm one that I've never, well, I'll say this. I've never really talked much, especially like on this platform, really nowhere, um about when it comes to crypto or certain instruments and assets, that when the treasury and like the Fed and they get together, like there's like the unseen, and then there's like unknown, even amongst like those of us that trade or that speculate. And it becomes a really uncomfortable fact that if you stop and you think about it, and like I said, it never gets discussed. Nobody ever really talks about it, because I think the more it ingrains, or the more people hear it, some people will hold on to it and they'll think about it, and then they'll realize, shit, yeah, that's right. But if you think about this, real, just plain and simple, you look at paper money and it's fiat, and what's it like? There's always this notion of, well, it was a federal tender, but it was a federal tender based on what? Like there was a hard asset that was related to it, right? So with crypto, and I'm not going to take you through all of that, because you probably already know that if you're trading gold. So I'm not going to talk to you or anybody like they don't know. But my point would be, I don't think that it's as hard as like the regulators and Congress, like, and I'm talking like a few years or maybe several years ago, when Bitcoin was at the point where there was that conversation of, hey, Bitcoin could be not the fiat, but it could be the blockchain alternative. And everybody was like, no, 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 no. I think maybe that was what they were looking at. Like, okay, well, if we're going to do that, what's the hard asset? Like, what's the other side? What's the asset that's going to back that? You know what I mean? So that's all I would be looking to hear. Like, I've never really been big into crypto. I treat crypto just like really anything else. So if I look at something like Bitcoin or Ethereum or Solana, like something like that, I'm literally just looking to practice, my own trade plan in a crypto environment. Nothing more than that. But I'm looking at what's going to back it. Yeah. Yeah, like I said, I don't stuff like that. I know a lot of people are just negative and they're just like, "Oh no, that's going to be the next." And I'm like, be optimistic. When it comes to finance, I'm always going to be some level of optimistic. If you just like lay it on the table. Obviously, I'm not a financial advisor, but I've I'll just say I've had the good fortune of, a few accountants and a couple of CPAs in the family, and just kind of understanding economics a little bit differently. Which is also why I just kind of keep my mouth shut in mixed company, because it's not always, what you know. It's just kind of like, okay, just listen, you know. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. That sir is the name of the game. That is absolutely it. Let's see if this continues to be respected, because if it does, um this would be, and I know this is kind of jacked up, but this is an invalidation for any longs. But if this gets respected, maybe buy back up here, but it's still too early. It's only 12:36. It's too early. And nine, 10. Let's see. 899. Might be taking a trip to downtown Chinatown. Are you giving financial advice? No. That was no, Joker. I wasn't. That was a educational purpose public service announcement. That's what that was. I didn't say you buy back up here. I just but thank you for that. Keep me out of trouble. Yeah, unless we're drifting all the way. I don't know. I don't know. Unless we're coming back down for 9:30. Which could be based on that egg that jobless claims laid this morning. Yeah, what do you all think about that? I was looking at that when I got back home, because I'm thinking, we're gonna have, a fair amount of volatility that may have occurred based on the number and everything else. Well, while this is doing this, I'll you can go back and look at that real quick. This candle is what we got from jobless. I want to hop over. Let me see if I can pull up, because I can't remember what it was. Um, okay. So initial jobless claims, they said the previous was 217. The consensus was 220,000. The actual was 223. Now, according to how we interpret like those numbers, they usually say the higher number than what's expected is a negative and the lower number is positive. Right? Just based off of that by itself, I mean, nobody has to be a mathematician or a rocket scientist to figure out, like, should have, like, that didn't move the needle at all. So I don't know if maybe what we're sitting through right now, or have been sitting through since this was the news, that, you know, my old, not my old, but the general theory of before we go down, we have to go up. I don't know if that's what this is. Could be. I don't know. But we just got to close below this fair value. Yeah, if that's a close below, we could be, you know, at minimum targeting the 930 open. And that would satisfy, I don't know what the percentage is on initial balance. Like basically the run out of buy and sell side for the initial balance. I don't know what the probability of that is. That is 35. So 1030. So we had that closure and open. This is the only other closure inside. Yeah, it's possible it runs to the other side. Yeah, that's possible. Oop. I'm just framing this out. I'm not going to take it, but what it would look like would probably be something like this. And I'm setting this as the threshold because this is going to be a high that's beyond this 1030 candle, which would represent like the high of the initial balance range. And you'd be targeting basically that 930 low. So that's like 19 and a half handles. And you've got fair value here that would kind of give you the predicate to look for the short. But if you're going to use this, then stop may want to be there. But I don't know. If you're trying to be conservative. That's just crazy, though. Yeah, I never anticipated that you know, on news like that, unless there was another like really big economic driver that you just don't have any real decision in terms of which way you're going, you know? So that was extremely surprising to me. It's not like it'd be different if today was like jobless claims and tomorrow was like NFP, right? Then maybe I could see where, maybe you move the needle a little bit, but you don't tip your hand. They don't tip their hand in terms of where they're wanting to go. Then stuff like this would make sense, but I don't know. I don't want to draw another area of fair value up here, so just gonna have to eyeball this. Maybe looking to buy back up. We did close back above this area, so maybe the shorts are not in. I can actually get rid of these. And that one. So you need a closure back above that initial balance, and then this would have to be inverted to be considered. I have to see that inverted. The other thing that you'll have actually it doesn't have to get inverted. You know why? Because this is now closing through this bearish fair value. So now at this point, I don't have to wait for this one to get inverted because this one just got inverted. Let's see. That's the turn. We just have to wait for this candle to close. But like I said, the fact that it's before 1 could just remain I'm gonna go ahead. We'll just do this like that. And not greedy. Let's see if we can extract that. And it's a little presumptuous, like I said, but This candle's gonna, yeah. So that's the closure. So this has been inverted here. So this doesn't have to expand all the way, but I mean, as long as it maintains fair value here, it'll be valid for whatever the desired purpose is. And I'm looking at it from just the perspective of you don't want to go short. I'm not going to give you some big technical explanation. It's not, that's not where it wants to go. Not yet. So it's got something else to do. It's got more shopping to do. So listen, I have a question. Anybody else hungry? Because I am like fucking starving. I'm starving. So I guess my question would really be, using this place when I go hard? Yeah. Food recommendations. I don't know, because I could eat like literally just about anything right now. Pause. Not anything. I had to be careful with that kind of stuff nowadays. We all have to be careful with those types of things. Be careful. Be careful, gentlemen. Be careful. But I was serious about hunger and starvation. Not quite starvation, but shit, y'all know what I'm talking about. No recommendations. Okay. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. I don't know what I'll find something. I will find something. I think I've got like some hamburger or something. Oh no, I still have steak in the freezer. That actually sounds quite tasty at this point. But as hungry as I am, I'm try to eat it raw and frozen. What are you eating? A steak popsicle? All right, turned out to be so far a pretty decent idea here. But as we all know, some of the greatest trade ideas were always good until it's smacked in the mouth. Well, we'll see. I think this is somewhat, probable more than the alternative. So which part is the pause? Did I say something? Okay, I was. All right, well, I apologize if I did. I'm sorry. I told you I'm hungry. uh, all right, so there's 20 seconds before this candle closes. Okay, so we're back in that 12 noon candle. So, yeah, if it wants to come now, this is actually this candle. Yeah, this one or the next one, or it can just run to this predetermined TP and as the Gungan from Star Wars would say, we be gone with him. Could be done. Because all I know is I actually just want to be out of a position before 1:30 and well 1:30 and absolutely by 2 o'clock. Because on some days, typically it's like it could be a an economic news driver kind of day. Sometimes it's a day before. Sometimes it's a day after. Like sometimes the PM sessions, there's a run on one side of liquidity that the lunch hours just kind of chopped you back and forth. But seemingly here, there's enough fair value being offered just to like allow what kind of looks like balance and equal participation. So, I mean, probably won't see that, but I don't want to take any chances. That's why I want to be some level of conservative. I'm content with the noon candle high and like I said, kind of go from there. But practically, I would like to see this candle or this liquidity above the 4 p.m. taken. So that was that would have been like my target. But the later we get, I know we're just going into basically the PM session, but I'm not, and I don't have to be, but I'm just not sold on when we get back into this area, which I'm still looking at as some form of a breaker, just based on how price hung around here, and then as soon as we, it tapped, it fell off. So kind of understand why now, but yeah, I don't mind being a partial participant in a PA and a spectator afterwards, just to see. T Camp, you still holding that goal position? Or have you decided to turn it loose? I don't have to pause that one. Took partials. Nice. Nice. Congrats. Nice. So is 1 o'clock gonna take us to the promised land or what? Like what are we doing? What are we doing here? What are we freaking doing here? Come on. Come on. That's not the right way to go, one. That's not the right way to go. We were going uptown. We don't want to go downtown no more. We don't want to freaking go down there, all right? Need you to turn around and go the other way. The other way. There you go. Still on Forex. Do 10. Close the 7. Nice, man. That's nice. Yeah, that's really good. Unlike probably some others that are like, let me throw a whole lot on that. Let me put a whole lot on it, and maybe I'll take half off when we get. Yes, nice. Okay. How often do you meet your target? Like in terms of percentage? Because I mean, obviously, what you're doing is profitable. I would like to think that it's profitable, just based on. That's nice. Yeah, this price action is just like going to do the Dougie for whatever this time period is. But I will admit, it's a lot. At least right now, it's a lot better than what maybe I thought. So, you know, if you can't tell, I'm trying to cozy up the price to get it to move in my direction. Trying to play that reverse psychology lesson on price action. It's working. It's working. No, just get. All right, we got like 30 seconds before this candle closes, and I honestly don't want it to close like it's looking right now. But then, there and again, maybe I don't know. I don't know. There might not be a terrible thing because, well, we'll just see which side gets taken. It's a better. Yeah, so if it takes, we kind of want it to run long now. like absolutely wanted to run long. Because if it takes the cells out, then this is just going to lead to like more chop. It'll drop back into that inversion fair value gap, and potentially sitting in a position during the time where I said I really didn't want to be in a position. I don't know. Yeah, I think this is gonna it's really gonna just bounce around in here. And I know that especially this is like we'll all see something different, but my perspective is literally like this is the ceiling and this is the floor. Not just because I have my stop here, but like I said, I keep and I can't like fight the whole I've got to get through here to if we're going long, and then ultimately it's just going to take maybe a peak above this for price to come back down, because I keep looking at this, like I said, this little area of price action as a breaker, which to some degree will inhibit price until it breaks through. It's either going to hold it and force it down, or essentially price will break. It may retest and move away. So that's why if you hear something and I'm not talking, while I did say I was hungry, it's the gears grinding in my brain and not my stomach growling. So that's the difference in the sound. So no, I know I've heard it said like if you're thinking about, hey, should I close, then that's usually the sign for you to close. So I'm thinking I'm going to do, and I don't want to do that, which is just to kind of cover and go to a risk off. Like it's not going to hurt me either way, but I don't want to do that because I don't know if we take some type of short-term liquidity to run back up, if moving to a risk off position negates that, right? Because it could take short-term liquidity and literally just acquire a little bit more that takes us out. And it's not so much about missing the move. It's just kind of about understanding like what's taking place, like what's required or what's needed to push price just a little bit more. So there we go. So at least you take the long, and I would at least want that to expand, but that doesn't mean I'm looking for it to go to the moon or go through here. I would also be looking for it to, again, come back, because I don't think that's far-fetched. Hit my TP first, of course, but I think it's going to come back. And not all the way back, I think just back in here. Sorry about that. I had to close this Discord window. Like all those hiccups and whatnot drive me nuts. So because of the live position, the combine trade I took today, and then this position in practice, I'm trying to figure out, are you guys, how does your target let you see your profit total? What do you mean, like what it's worth? It tells me right here. It tells me what it's worth. Should actually be right there. I'm a little above. I wanted to be right at that candle high. I wanted to be right there. You mean, are you talking about like in terms of handles? Is that what you're referring to? Or are you talking about a dollar amount, Brandon? So dollar, well, I can tell you the dollar amount, that says 430, it's like 435 on the head, so order filled. Sweet. So if you were curious, like if you were trying to figure out, maybe you just take like a market order, kind of like I did in that situation. So like I said, the dollar amount was 435. This is NQ. So basically $20 is going to be a handle. So that position was worth 21 handles, almost 22 handles. So by math definition, it's like 21.75 handles is what that would amount to. And then you could also turn that around and make that ticks. And if you did it in ticks, it's 87 ticks, because you've got four ticks to one handle. So I hope that answered your question. And with that, I think this will be interesting. I wonder if it's just gonna now it'll just run. Very interesting. Just want to watch just a few more minutes. Just like I said, if we end up coming back up here, like I'm just really interested to see what the reaction is there. I'm gonna be really interested. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut that off. Because if we get back like literally within this and it's like it hit a brick wall, then I'm not saying it's confirming, but I'm just gonna say that, you know, there's something to that. $5 minute? Yes. Yes, it is. My favorite time frame. Yeah, I don't think this is, well, I don't know. Let me start there. I don't know. Um, Actually, hang on. Hang on, hang on, hang on. Um, okay. Actually, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to pull that up here. I have to wait for this to close, but feeling fairly confident that it's not going to close lower, but not the composite operator, so I can't say that definitively, but I don't think it will. Just because of the whole concept of if you were trading basically the breakout or retracement to breakout for the initial balance, like really this should serve as kind of like a launch pad. That's why you saw me with my cursor back here. I'm just going back to where was that. So your initial balance was at this level. I don't want to put another, I'll just grab this. But I can't grab that. Put that back. Your initial balance level was there. So the clear and the sweep out long, or the clear or the breakout long, you had your retracement back into an area of fair value that took place inside the initial balance, which kind of gave you the platform to take off. And like I said, this will serve as, excuse me, like a breakaway gap. But it may or may not. Don't know. Only because of, like I said, looking at what this area is going to do. You probably watch this till about 1:30, and then I'm gonna hop off for a bit and go make some food, and I'll probably just come and watch the afternoon play out. Like I said, see if we ultimately get this run back up to 4 p.m. or if we basically get a closure back in here somewhere, which is not unlikely. It's not an impossible thing. If you just think about candle structure in and of itself, it's plausible, but you know, because you've got your open and a low. Technically, as of right now, you have a high, but we could be establishing a new high for the day and then closure inside. So we'll see. Like I said, not far fetched, but I think it'll still just be interesting for anybody that's either looking to take a position or trade tomorrow. Kind of, I don't know necessarily that it'll give you an idea or give you any kind of a directional bias. They might give you order flow. Well, I take that back. It probably will give you, if you've been following all week, may give you an idea. I really just want to take a look at the 4 hour and the daily really quick, but we've got like a minute and a half before this candle closes, so we'll come back to the 5 minute. I just want to I'm trying to see if it's gonna snap through here, just the way it's kind of moving right now. I just want to see if it gets to the CE and rejects, or if it pushes through. It's a wick through. Is it gonna push through? Yep. Yep. Okay, so hold that thought. We might not have to go to a 4 or a daily, because we may be getting the answer right now. Because a closure above could allow it to continue, and then see if, like, what I was looking at as kind of like a target. And I actually was looking at this from yesterday and even like the overnight, like the Globex session. After obviously the shorts, like this would have been my initial target. Honestly, it was my initial target when I got back home today and took the position in my combine. So Yeah, so that's a closure above. So that kind of lends itself to that idea. It doesn't mean that that's what's going to happen, but I would lean that way. I would lean towards a long. Finish pairing here. See if it pairs and it pops back up like its predecessor candle did. See? Yeah, so if it closes back inside, I might, like I said earlier, I might be confident in price just continuing bullish. But I'm just really, I'm kind of just leery on that zone. Yeah, I would, a closure above it, totally different. Yeah, well, this one from yesterday, like I said, the crazy thing about this is that this was the 410 candle yesterday, and we gapped down when we opened. So this is kind of like, we're filling, which is why I keep looking at it like, just kind of, you give me something on the other side, and we're good. But yeah, it's a combination of a couple things, really. But yeah, you're right. What can't you figure out, Brandon? I'm thinking where you typed in cut. You mean can't? Take it straight. Yeah. I just took one in this PA account. I took one on my combine earlier. At a bit of a risque time. So it was like maybe three. What was it? I don't have to guess. I can just go back to it. 382.20 in just above this chop. It's the only one I took today. So 382.20. That's the only one. And I've taken a couple in this PA account. So the last one just kind of rolled back into profit on the day, which was, we just finished talking about, it's like a 21.75 handle run. I would like to stream every day. um, I've been trying to get back into it. What I started to do was just like record my trades, and then I felt like, you know what, maybe, you know, somebody, or there might be a couple people that just kind of like a no nonsense, not be advertised and, you know, prodded to join and buy. Like there might be like the subset of the group that, you know, will sit, watch price, and I'd like to think I'm somebody that'll just kind of spell it out how I see it and what makes sense to me. So yeah. Right now, Globex, which usually like the PM sessions, I'm trying to get into like a routine, maybe to do every day. But my work schedule is favorable, but it's just some other things in like the adulting life that don't really lend itself to me streaming every day. So, but I would like to. You trade NQ as well, or what assets do you or instruments do you trade? It's like pulling teeth. It was really like pulling teeth, man. But I'm trying to speak it into the universe. We close above this fair value gap. Eh, obviously I don't know because I don't, but the probability is obviously going to be greater to reach like that buy side from the 4 p.m. candle from yesterday. So yes, this is what we need to see. Yes, yeah, yeah, yeah. Every day, 7 to 11. Yeah, it's not EQ. Oh, well, congratulations, man. Hey, listen, I'm not laughing at you, but guess what? Um, you know who else did that? Blau, you know who else did that? He's laughing and he's talking to you. I did the same thing. I did the same thing. But I will, it's not a I'll do you one better, but I can tell you, and this is again one of the reasons why I felt like I wanted to record. Yeah, absolutely. 100% me. You don't even have to guess. Yep. Yours truly. I think that there are some in the space that are getting more comfortable, and they, for whatever reason, they do it. I don't know. I'm not gonna say. I'm not even gonna go down that. I'll just simply say I documented and I recorded like going on tilt. So I think some of my earlier videos from like last year, you could see it, and I'm kind of transparent to say I had an idea, but I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. Just it is what it is. So, you know, some people refer to it as, you know, you got to have a come to Jesus I literally just had to come to terms with, okay, like if you're taking this seriously and you really want to do it, like you got to figure out like what the hell you're doing. Because when I got into my XFA, um I want to say I was kind of finding my way and I was figuring it out, but my issue was, and I know why I blew my XFA now. I blew it because I stopped doing the groundwork and like the foundation that got me there. I started doing something totally fucking different. I wasn't doing what got me there. So yeah, I like to refer to barbecue chicken as what happened. Yeah, burnt barbecue chicken. Yeah, I blew that account to smithereens. And the funniest thing, and this is why it just depends on who you are and what you believe and how you feel in life. Um, I even posted, I think I made a video where usually like if you hear somebody talking or you're amongst friends in a mixed group and somebody, offers a suggestion and then they say, "Well, that's just my 2 cents." Right? I think most people have heard that expression. I literally and just the sense of humor of me said, something, I can't remember what the title of the video was, but it was something like, torching my XFA, just my 2 cents, literally, because literally it was 2 cents from being blown. And I don't know how the hell, but you know, I think that just because of how I am and my character and my humor, like there was something in the universe that said, we're gonna leave 2 cents in here before you set fire to it. So you could technically still say that you have an XFA, but you really don't because you can't do anything. You're like, as the moment you take a position, it doesn't matter if it's in profit or not. Like it's still gonna be torched. So I look at that as that was kind of the that was the thing that kind of forced me to look at, okay, what did you do to get here? And it's like, okay, you answer that question. Okay, so now that you're in this account, what have you been doing? Is it the same thing? No. Why not? You know. But you live and learn. You know. You live and learn. How you liking ES? Because I also started with ES and then NQ just is, I won't say it's more favorable. I mean, obviously one, either ES is going to lead or NQ will lead. Somebody's, pulling the other one. But I just, I finally gotten comfortable with NQ. I don't really look like even all of the divergence and all. I don't get into all of that. I look at NQ and that's it. Sean, you set yours on fire too, eh? That's correct. Yeah. But I was talking to T Camp earlier, and I told him once I'm done with this one and I get back into the next XFA, I'm gonna do one more combine, and that one I'm just gonna focus solely on copper futures, and that's all I'm gonna do. Why do I like NQ more? Um, Honestly, I feel like when I started doing like a lot of my back testing, I don't think it was anything where ES just disgusted me, but I just found going through resources and then trying to vet a trading plan. a lot of the vetting and the testing and the studying and the watching the price action, it was just all NQ. It just kind of happened that way. And once I got comfortable enough to, maybe take like a visual, what I call a visual trade would be, looking at like a certain area like this and saying, okay, so a visual trade for me would have been, I'd want a long from here, and I put my stop here, and this would be my target, and then I just sit and watch. So all of my visual trades that turned into like paper trades were all NQ. So by the time I felt like I was comfortable enough to say, okay, maybe you can try another combine, I think I'm ready for another combine, I just naturally just went to NQ. And it is kind of weird. You would think that I would have said, let me go back to ES, but I felt like I don't want to say I found a rhythm with how NQ moved, but it just worked that way. And then I went completely freaking left field with another futures instrument, and I went to copper, which, like, don't ask me, I don't know. It's just like one day I was looking for something else to back test. And I went into TradingView and I was like, what else can I back test in the futures? And copper. Let's try copper. It just happened. Yeah, if we get up here, maybe by like 334, and then if we don't, yeah, I'm not gonna cry. It will, however, set up a little bit of an interesting dynamic for Globex Open tonight, which would be for Friday's trading. But I would be interested in looking at like the overall range. Because I'm thinking that where are we at? $86. Yeah, from here to maybe is that 22093. Yeah, I'm curious to know where this closes for the day. And then at some point I'll just go back in like and look at what I think the overall range is, because it's obviously it's going to be a little bigger than these 2 days. I mean, you could take each day as its own, but there's some overlap, and it's just trying to determine like where that is. Because there's a part of me that just looking at delivery, where is it? Yeah, there's that part of me that's still looking at this PM buy side as basically a whether it be like a end of the week target, or we're gonna come back and revisit this next week, which we very well could. Start back test at NQ, see if you like. Yeah, I mean, if obviously 100% your decision, I would always lean into whatever the market or the instrument is that you find most comfortable, or the one that you don't have to think. I don't want to say think about, like you don't have to look at like the analysis, and you don't have to do basically your markups and your bias on. But if you don't have to think about I'm unsure or unfamiliar, yeah, if you like ES, it's fine. I glance at ES now, but not enough to consider going back to it. Because like what I just like literally what I just said to you in terms of like what would go against, or what it looks like may go against. Like I'm saying, I'm looking at this as maybe a longer term target, but I'm also looking at it from a perspective of maybe a weekly profile, and this being a target, just based on how I see it, it doesn't necessarily meet that criteria. It could, but you know, I'm a weirdo anyway, so what somebody else would look at and say that looks perfectly fine, I'm looking at it like, no. So, and it could very well be because I'm considering all of these things, right? Monday, that's a Tuesday low of the week. And Wednesday, so I would think maybe Thursday, Friday close back inside, but no, only because I'm looking at an imbalance, a volume imbalance here. So it would lend me to think it's possible, but let price show you. But what price is showing me on this daily candle when we close in another 2 hours in 13 minutes or what have you, what it's telling me is, based on this, you're not interested in what's down here. You're interested in what's up here. But I guess I can call myself a candle range theorist because, I understand and believe the concept. Somebody would tell me I can't really make that determination because if it closes this way, it's inside. So we don't know anything. But that's why I like to just kind of go inside, and just look at the fractal. Not so much to just be in a position, but just, again, you're looking at what the incremental mitigations and the liquidity that's being taken to maybe build the narrative to then come all the way back out here and look and say, okay, does that look like that makes sense? So this is the 4 hour, which looks insane. That is insane. Absolutely insane. Oh, now I know why it looks insane. I'm sorry. I still have regular trade hours. I'm looking at it like, what in the hell? I'm so sorry. That's what happens when you're hungry. You haven't eaten. Always look at NQ when the market gets slow, but not in depth. Yeah. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I just want to take one more look at the daily and then go back down. Yeah, we've pretty much cleared everything else out. Could be looking at, what's that? 22,384.25. Is that the high of that candle? 22,387.75. Could be this one. If we continue to reach. And if there's a question of like, why would I say that and how? Because we're in that candle. We've been in that candle range for, what's that, 2 weeks? And essentially, since we've closed inside, there's been no, not even close to coming back. So we can mitigate volume imbalance. Yeah, by the time you get all the way down here, like you've completed whatever you need up here. So yeah, I mean, it's an idea. That's yeah, 22,387.75. But that's obviously going to be a ways away. So, oop. Yeah, we've closed back inside again. Yeah, not too much faith, and I'm not gonna hold you guys. I'm gonna go grab something to eat, and like I said, this could come back down. Maybe it dips back into this area of fair value, which we're thinking, or I was thinking, was gonna act as some sort of a breakaway gap once we closed above here. But that closure is kind of inconclusive at this point. Like there's not enough. You had to make food. I gotta go make food. Freaking hungry. I know y'all are tired of hearing me say I'm hungry, but I am famished. All right. Well, I am actually, because this is not going to be doing too much, and honestly, because of where it is and what it's doing, there's not a position that I'm taking, whether it's a practice or back in my combine. So I'm gonna wrap here for now. I'm not 100% sure if I'll be back on for the Globex or the 6 p.m. Open. If I am, if you will, just check my community tab, and I'll make sure I'll update there at least by close of the market today. So like by 4:00. I'll let you all know if I'll be back on this evening or not. So either way, I'll put something there. And yeah, I appreciate you guys for hanging out. I enjoyed the conversation. Blar, Die, Brandon, T Camp, as always, Joker. Good to see you guys always. The only person missing, I think, is Jalen, and I'm probably gonna get fussed at by him. He's gonna be like, man. But anyhow, I appreciate you guys. Thanks for coming through. If there's any topic or anything that you guys are interested in, or you want me to look at a different asset, especially going forward, like on days like today, if I'm not gonna take a position in something, you want me to look at like another asset, I'd be more than happy to do that. So yeah, just so it's a little bit more inclusive. So if there's something, I'm not saying I can solve the financial issue or the risk management, but I'd be more than happy to take a look at it. We could talk about it, and I could just tell you what I think about it. If that's helpful, or if you think that that's beneficial, let me know. Just, you can comment on the video. I'll end up posting this anyway. So yeah, you comment on the video, put something in the community tab. I'll be more than happy to take those suggestions. And yeah, Just make it a lot more inclusive. All right. So you guys, again, I appreciate your time. Thanks for coming through, and I'll see you again soon. Take care.